I'm back taking 3 more vehicles around the Wasteland Destruction circuit, and I'm starting off with the Procyon Centauri. This is basically a modern luxury SUV for the game, and it actually recently got updated, so you might as well take this thing around. This is the L340 TD, so it has the V6 that's actually a diesel. I'm pretty sure this is a new configuration in one of the updates, so yeah, might as well take this thing around. This is more of a luxury spec, so the suspension should be a little bit more softer and everything, so hopefully that'll help it out a bit. It doesn't have the air suspension or anything, but yeah, it should be a little bit better. But yeah, otherwise I'm not sure what else the update changed in the Centauri besides like adding like quality of life features and everything. I'm not sure what else has changed strength wise, because in the past I remember this thing being pretty strong from what I can remember. Yeah, I remember this thing being pretty strong, so I'm hoping to see a similar thing around here. It has done pretty well around tracks before, so yeah, it's mainly the steering and suspension, I'm pretty sure. And I guess it can overheat, but those are the main things. The oil pan and radiator and everything, pretty sure are pretty strong as well. Yeah, it has an under tray, so that'll hopefully protect the oil pan for a while. Hopefully we don't lose that early on. But yeah, it's gonna be pretty bouncy on around here. I mean, that is expected. Also, yeah, it's gonna be top heavy as well. I mean, yeah, it's a luxury SUV, so a modern SUV as well. So yeah, it's gonna be quite top heavy, which is something to keep in mind, which can happen around these obstacles, like kind of like that. Yeah, we almost rolled it, but yeah, it's very bouncy. I mean, which is not the worst thing, but it depends if you do roll and you land on a wheel, because this thing is a pretty heavy vehicle. I mean, modern SUVs are pretty heavy, but yeah, if you do land on a wheel, then that's gonna cause a lot of damage. It doesn't really matter if the suspension is strong enough. If you land on a wheel awkwardly, then it's gonna do a lot of damage. Like, we have to try to keep landing straight. I mean, the crash sound didn't sound great, but I don't really notice anything else really broken. Maybe the rear right suspension seems collapsed. Yeah, I think the rear right is a little collapsed, but I don't know, it's hard to tell what's body roll and what's suspension damage, because there's a lot of body roll going on around these corners. Also, that's not really great, but I mean, rolling like that isn't the worst thing. Again, if you land on a wheel, then that causes issues, because rolling like that kind of distributes energy, which is fine, but if you do land on the suspension, then that's going to cause more issues for the vehicle. I don't really want to hit that, but don't really have much choice. I mean, the steering, it's not really a great handling vehicle from the beginning, but yeah, once you do start taking steering damage, it has a little bit of steering damage. The front left is bent inwards a little bit, but that's not the worst thing to happen. I mean, we still have steering, which is the thing I care about the most. But yeah, it's gonna complete another lap without too many issues, hopefully. I mean, it did roll a little bit, but yeah, we lost the right side mirror, which is fine. But yeah, again, it's very bouncy. Yeah, otherwise you don't really expect modern SUVs to, do that well around these type of tracks, but surprisingly they do well around these tracks, because the other SUV, the Intera, also did surprisingly well, and it's actually really high up on the leaderboard, so maybe this thing can also do pretty well. But yeah, that roll landing more on the roof, which is fine. It didn't really do that much damage to the roof, because yeah, I mean, it's a modern SUV. They're usually pretty safe vehicles, like in crashes, but yeah, so yeah, it's not gonna there's not gonna be much damage to the roof and everything. I mean, I guess it also helps that this thing is doing well is this is a body on frame vehicle, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it is a body on frame vehicle because I remember in the past the entire body fell off the frame. And yeah, that can happen. I guess it will take a while if it does happen. But yeah, it can happen. So yeah, and usually body on frame vehicles are generally better around this type of doing this type of things, like the Roamer and D-series come to mind that they usually do pretty well also. But yeah, I mean, it's mainly the front wheels that has taken the most damage. The front right also has some camber on the wheels, which is not great. So it seems like we're gonna roll on like every jump now, which I do not really want. Because the more like damage you take, the worse for the vehicle. Yeah, if we do keep hitting those wheels, then that's gonna do a lot more damage. Because I think the wheels will eventually snap. I think it can happen. So yeah, we don't really want that to happen. This is a 4-wheel drive vehicle, I think. No, it's an all-wheel drive vehicle. I think. Yeah, it doesn't have the transfer case lock, so it's an all-wheel drive vehicle, but it has some sort of lock. I'm not sure. Okay, so that's a transfer case lock, so I guess that does help. I might as well turn it on because it's not gonna hurt it. Because something like a diff lock, if that can hurt the steering a little bit, but yeah, I might as well give it more traction around this type of thing, because yeah, the more damage you take, yeah, the worse drivability it gets. Yeah, I noticed in the back, it does have like screens on the back seats, but like one of them seems to have broken. Okay, we also broken the front screens as well. I mean, it's something to note, like inside the vehicle. So one working screen in the rear right of the vehicle. The middle light is still working. That's not a tail light. Both the tail lights are broken, but the middle light is still working. Yeah, there's a lot of suspension damage going on. I'm not sure what's suspension damage and what's like bodywork damage. It's really hard to tell. Okay, that is not the worst thing to happen. Yeah, that's not really the worst thing to happen, but yeah, I mean, it looks worse. As long as it's not really landing on the wheels itself, that's fine. I mean, you can see it's not really the axle that shifted or the bodywork. I'm not sure, actually. We lost like the tailgate bit, which is fine. We're losing the... I don't know what that part is called, but I think like the inner fender bit is falling off. I mean, there's a lot of parts that can fall off the vehicle, but... which is fun, but yeah, it doesn't really help it. I mean, I guess weight reduction does help it, I guess. Yeah, steering-wise, it's actually struggling quite a bit. I'm not actually sure why. I mean, looking at it, that's why, but... I think the wheels bent inwards don't help steering-wise, because, yeah, we do have less steering turning, so that probably doesn't help. The front left seems to be... okay, there goes the entire bodywork. I'm surprised that jump did it, but... yeah, there goes the entire body. We lost... I don't know if... hopefully that wasn't the under tray. Okay, the front under tray bit is still connected. But yeah. I didn't really expect that jump to... for the body to fall off, but I guess, yeah, that... that has happened, and now we're just a frame driving around. I'm actually not sure how the radiator is working. I guess the radiator is connected to the body itself, so that's why it's not damaged, but realistically it should not be working because the radiator hose should be broken, but I mean, that's how the game works. I mean, a similar thing happens to the D-series and Roamer and everything, where you can basically tear off the entire radiator support and the radiator is still fine. Realistic, no, but I guess it's funny, yeah. But yeah, another thing to note now we don't have the bodywork. We now have a lot more speed. Even though the diesel's not the fastest thing, it's not really the fastest engine available, like the V8 compared to the V8s in the Centauri. But yeah, we do have a lot more speed, and that's something to keep in mind. And if you go faster than you'd expect, I mean, I didn't really expect to go that fast over that jump, but yeah, that did a lot more damage. That's kind of what I'm talking about. Because I really wasn't going that fast over that. I was being cautious, but yes, yeah. Again, we cleared out no problem. But yeah, the front left has taken a lot more damage. Okay, that's actually not the worst landing. I mean, the bodywork's just sitting there. Yeah, it's really hard to control the vehicle now. It has a lot more steering issues. I mean, you can see what's actually broken in the front more easily, but it doesn't really tell me much. But yeah, I mean, it's still somehow doing pretty well. It's still got a while to go to beat the other modern SUV, the Intera, and even longer if it wants to be in the top spot on the leaderboard. Somehow there's still nothing broken on this vehicle, which is kind of funny. Like besides like the suspension damage, like the game's telling me there's nothing broken. Okay, that is not great. I don't really want to roll anymore because first of all, the wheels are now entirely exposed. So if you do roll, then that's gonna do a lot more damage to the wheels. And second, the engine right there is, well, it shouldn't be working, but it is working in the game. But yeah, if you do land on the engine, that will break it. And I don't really want to break the engine, so yeah. I mean, I guess I got kind of lucky that the radiator didn't get damaged. So that's something we don't have to worry about anymore. The oil pan we still have to worry about because that's still on the underside of the engine, so I mean, that is a painful jump. That jump's gonna do the most damage, I'm pretty sure. Like, kind of bent the rear of the frame upwards. I'm not sure actually where the fuel tank's in the middle, so that's fine. It'll probably be hard to damage, so that's good to know. Also, yeah, steering issues. I mean, you can see what the wheel is doing, and it explains why the steering is so bad now. But yeah, I mean, if you do land these jumps straight, then I guess it's not the worst thing because you have less force hitting the ground now, but you also have more speed hitting the jumps. So yeah. Yeah, there's more damage going on to the front left now. I can see a lot more suspension damage. We lost more things in the front left. I'm not sure what. I think we lost some sort of suspension arms now, so that is not great. If the axle and like tie rod is the only thing connecting that wheel, then that's not great. Okay, we lost a tire, which is just not really helpful. It's not gonna slow. I guess it will slow it down, but it's not gonna stop it. It just, you know, it's gonna make handling worse now. I mean, I don't really know what kind of diffs this thing has. If we lose more than one wheel, then that's gonna probably be a dead. If we lose like at least two wheels, if we lose one wheel, it might still continue on. I think it has open diffs. It's hard to tell. I mean, usually modern vehicles have some sort of open diff or electronic diff. I'm not sure. But yeah, again, I don't really have much control, so whatever happens, happens. But yeah, the front right was the better condition front wheel, but now it has a puncture. I mean, the rear suspension seems to be holding up fine. It's a little bit collapsed, but yeah. Also, I noticed how much the rear diff is moving around once you accelerate, which is not great for a dry shaft. Okay, that is quite fortunate that actually, if the Centauri had the body work connected, I'm pretty sure that's gonna do a lot more damage, and it potentially could have snapped that wheel, because that's more force hitting the ground. But it's luckily it's just the frame that's driving around, so that's less force. I mean, it's not got that much longer to beat, you know, some of the top spots of the leaderboard, which was I didn't really expect it to do this well. I'm expected to do quite well, but not, you know, this well. I mean, the tire is the only thing that's really broken on the vehicle now, besides the suspension damage. But yeah, okay, that is, if we lose control, like something like that, that's bad. Okay, we lost the rear right wheel. I mean, still continuing, so that's fine. If we lose the front wheel, then I don't think it will continue driving. Yeah, and it's bad that the wheel is giving power. One of them is flat, so that's gonna not help the vehicle. We are not working the engine harder, so it could overheat it if we continue driving. Okay, the wheel finally fell off. Yeah, I mean, if we lose the rear drive shaft now, then it doesn't really matter, because I don't really think the rear left is really doing anything anymore, but it might be doing something, but yeah. Okay, that is not great. Yeah, we landed that jump and we snapped the wheel off, and I think that's it, dead. Yeah, none of the wheels are really spinning. I will actually move it to make sure if it's just the elevation change, if that's causing issues, but I'm pretty sure this thing is dead. Yeah, it's not doing anything, and that's the Procyon Centauri dead. That wheel, I'm surprised. It looks like the front left seems to have fixed itself a little bit. Yeah, that wheel's a lot straighter than it was, which is, yeah, I don't know how that wheel got fixed, but yeah, I guess the front right, enough impacts will eventually snap the wheel off, and yeah, the wheels eventually started to let go, because yeah, the more and more damage you take, and yeah, that would lead to the wheel axles falling off, and that will be the Procyon Centauri dead. I mean, what's left of the Centauri? There's not much left of it. It's just the frame. I mean, besides you can see the Procyon logo right there, but yeah, you wouldn't really know what vehicle this is anymore, unless you look at the logo right there, or the wheels. I don't know if it has beaten the Intera, the other modern SUV, or if it actually is in the... I don't think it's in the top spot, but yeah, we'll see at the end of the leaderboard to see how well it actually did. And for the next vehicle, I have something pretty interesting. This is the Quadrasteer D-series, but it has quad steering. It has rear steering in the back now, which is quite an interesting mod. I'm not sure if this will help the vehicle out or not, but it's cool to have rear steering in the D-series. This also applies to Roamer in this mod, so yeah, and it has really interesting handling. It's basically like the four-wheel steer Pessima, where it's kind of unusual to drive. It drives, you don't expect it to drive how it does. It's, you know, you kind of have to drive it on your own to know, but yeah, it feels like it's more arcadey, but it's not. It's really weird. It has more steering than it should, basically. But yeah, and it makes handling actually not that great, because you don't really expect what it's doing. It's hard to explain, but yeah, I'm not sure if it's gonna help the vehicle though. But yeah, I think it still has the what's it called, live axle and suspension in the back. It just has the steering bit, so I'm not sure if it can actually brake on this vehicle, but yeah. I mean, it's just basically just a stock D15, so it's actually gonna be pretty good around here. But yeah, it's what the rear suspension will do. That's the thing that's more interesting. But yeah, so far it's doing pretty well. I mean, I haven't taken any D-series around here, but Yeah, so this is the first one, so we'll see how well this Quadrasteer D-series will do. Again, you expect this thing needing more steering than it actually does, so you steer more than you have to. But yeah, it's gonna complete a lap without too many issues. Now it's a D-series, you'd expect it to survive pretty well, and it has. But yeah, it's more, it's what multiple laps will do to the suspension. I mean, the dress shafts are still a concern, and more damage will eventually snap them, but yeah, it could be the steering or wheels that could fall off. It could be really anything, but yeah, I'm not sure. And that's not the worst thing. We landed more on the front end. We bent the front up, bent it a lot. You can see the roof line is not well, it's not great anymore. Yeah, so far I mean, it's doing well. I guess besides just the bodywork damage, I mean, that's expected. There seems to be some sort of handling issues going on now. I'm not sure what wheel is actually damaged. You know, it's hard to tell. It might be the front left, actually. Yeah, the front left seems to be having some sort of damage going on. But yeah, I'm actually not sure if you can turn off the four-wheel steering. I mean, there's a control in the interior, but I don't think it does anything. Like, from what from the brief testing I've done. Yeah, the front left. When the suspension is uncompressed, you can see the how bent it is. But when you're actually driving, it straightens out a little bit. But yeah, it makes handling kind of even worse now. Like, it's not the most controllable vehicle from the beginning. I mean, both the doors have opened up, the hood is open, the tailgate's open. We just have the rear doors left to open until for everything to start flapping around. Yeah, I mean, the rear suspension seems to be doing interesting things, but I'm not sure if it's normal or not. Okay, we lost the tailgate. Because there seems to be some damage going on in the rear left. Like, it's cambered a little bit, the wheel. But it is still working, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. We're losing the front grille. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's surviving. It's taking more and more damage. You can see the chassis is not really enjoying this anymore. I mean, it's a truck. It's an older truck, so it's gonna... I mean, it is strong, but yeah, that much force is gonna bend the roofline a lot, and the chassis. The frame is probably bent also a little bit, but it's not as bad as the cab area. We don't really want to land too heavily on the one side. Also, steering. I guess you have more steering, like the direction changes are a little bit better on this. I mean, same thing with like the four-wheel steer Pessima, but yeah, it's still awkward to drive. I mean, it doesn't help by the fact that the rear suspension is bouncing quite a bit, and half the time it's not really in the air anyway, so when you're steering, it does interesting things. But yeah, I mean, it's on to another lap. I mean, there's a chance that it can challenge the top spots. I mean, if it will, it's gonna be probably a long episode, but I mean, I chose this vehicle, but yeah, I mean, it's only the second vehicle anyways. Okay, that is not great. That seemed like it's not easier than expected. I mean, I think it still can continue on, but yeah, that is not great. I mean, we landed quite heavily on the rear suspension, but that normally does not happen. You don't normally snap the axle like that. I feel like that has something to do with the quad steering, but I'm not sure. Okay, so it's gonna be start struggling now a lot. Okay, maybe it's not really gonna... I don't know what can I grab or not. Okay, so it's probably not gonna survive as long as I thought it would now. Because the rear left suspension was had camber on it quite a while ago, so I'm hoping... Yeah, I'm hoping that wheel does not snap off as well, so yeah. I mean, if we lose the rear drive shaft, I don't think it really matters anyways. I mean, which will probably happen eventually. Yeah, I mean, still can continue driving. Not great, but it can. I mean, I guess, yeah, the rear steering is still working on that wheel, which is fine. I mean, is it needed? Not really, but it is helpful, I guess. Okay, that I didn't really expect. I don't even know how that happened. I mean, it probably has to do with something with the rear steering, but I'm not sure, because that seems quite unusual what happened. It does not sound great anymore, hitting everything. But we will complete another lap, which is fine. Yeah, I'm just gonna crash quite a bit over these jumps. Also, spinning like that is quite annoying because it's gonna get hard to setting off to drive. Okay, I don't know how that happened. Hoping can get enough traction to continue driving. And we are off. Okay, so yeah, I'm hoping that the big jump coming up will not do any more damage. I feel like the rear suspension is a little more fragile because normally the live axle suspension on these trucks are usually really hard to kill. And yeah, the rear left was collapsed for a while. The rear right snapped off for... No, not really a heavy landing on that wheel, but yeah, it has happened. Also, yeah, controllability is quite bad now. Okay, that's good at landing on that side, because if we land on the other side, then the wheel would probably have snapped off. Your controllability on these jumps are not great anymore. I mean, probably half of it probably has to do with the missing wheel. Yeah, it's gonna start hitting everything on the rear suspension. I don't really know what to grab anymore. I usually grab the windshield because like the windshield area where it's not really connected to anything. Okay, well, dragging that did break the drive shaft. I mean, that probably would have happened not very soon after if that didn't happen, but yeah, so we lost the rear drive shaft. If we do lose the front drive shaft, then it will be dead. Yeah, it seems like we're turning off the whole rear axle now. I don't really want to slide over those logs, but it's mainly the front wheel. If we lose the front wheel axle, then it will also be dead. Right now, it's only front wheel drive. Yeah, we're gonna be hitting the rear axle with everything now. Yeah, I mean, the radiator we don't really have to worry about. I know how strong the radiator is. It usually doesn't get damaged. The wheel pan probably can. I don't want it to happen, but yeah. Okay, that is bad. We got caught on the shipping container. It grabbed the rear suspension, like the rear axle and everything. Yeah, it twisted everything. That has collapsed the rear left. I mean, it doesn't matter. That wheel wasn't doing anything besides... Does it have steering, actually? I don't think it does. Or it has very vague steering now. Yeah, but what that does is it makes it worse because you can see the... I guess the wheel hub right there is causing more issues. It's now dragging, and that causes more resistance, and it's struggling more to drive now. So yeah, it's not great. I mean, if there's a way, I don't know if there's, okay, that I don't really want to hit. We hit, yeah, luckily we hit more in the bump. Okay, we hit a little bit of the wheel. I mean, the steering wasn't great to begin with. Actually, if we cannot continue driving, it might be dead. I don't really want to take this side, but yeah, we kind of have to. Okay, it's getting stuck on everything now. Yeah, we have to pull it free. I'm allowed to do that if we get stuck on any obstacles. Yeah, it still has enough traction to continue driving. But yeah, it's struggling a lot more. Like that hit on that container did a lot of damage to the rear axle. I mean, if it cannot get enough traction to continue driving, it might be dead with, I don't even know what to call this. Either chassis or suspension failure, I'm not sure. I need speed over this jump to clear it properly. I'm not sure if we're gonna get that speed, if it's gonna spin like that. Yeah, the rear, not the rear, the front right suspension is collapsed now. We're starting to burn the clutch now, which I don't know. I mean, yeah, we're gonna start burning everything. And it did survive it, not great, but it did survive that jump. Yeah, it's mainly if you shift into second, I think that's what's burning the clutch, because it's not really getting enough power to go now anymore. I might put this into realistic mode so I can control the gears and probably give it a better chance as well. I can't really upshift it once you're going because you're going to lose a lot of, yeah, a lot of speed over the jump. And that's it, dead. It got caught on the, this lip has killed many vehicles. I'm not sure, that's actually a deadly place to land. But yeah, that's the Quadrasteer D-series dead with jar shot failure, which is more of a normal failure to happen to these vehicles. But yeah, you know, if I did take a normal D-series, it would have done a lot more better. But yeah, that rear axle caused it a lot of issues. We lost the wheel quite early on, and yeah, it was a matter of time until we did lose the front dry shaft. And yeah, that will be the Quadrasteer D-series dead. I mean, it still did pretty well. You know, 5.9 miles is still pretty good going, but yeah, I mean, I will obviously take a more normal D-series to see how it will compare to this. I mean, it also could be a matter of luck, like landing a jump just the wrong way could be what snapped the wheel. But yeah, that's the Quadrasteer D-series dead. The rear steer didn't really help the truck much. It still has some steering, but yeah, it seemed like the rear suspension is a little bit more fragile than just a normal suspension. And for the final vehicle this episode, I decided to take something pretty crazy. This is called the Miramati. I think that's how you say it. It's based off like a real life vehicle from the Roadkill TV series. I'm not sure what the real life vehicle is called, but yeah, this is actually really cool to see in the game. It has the Burnside V8. Okay, there goes the radiator. That's not really surprising. It's sitting right there, so. But yeah, it has the Burnside V8 in it, and yeah, I don't really expect this thing to survive that long. There is no texture in the transmission. I'm not sure if that's my fault or the mod's fault, but it's not really significant, so it's not gonna affect the vehicle. But yeah, this is really cool to see in the game. I'm not sure if the suspension in the back, I think it is custom suspension. Like, it's different from the Miramar suspension. So it's really cool to see it. Like, there is quite a bit of effort put into this. So yeah, we'll see how it'll do. I don't know if it'll survive that long. I mean, the radiator isn't the worst thing to go, because we do have the water section to cool down the vehicle if needed. I don't really want to land on the back because that will potentially break the engine. I don't know how the drive shaft is connected. I think it just have the axles in the back to connected, so we don't really want to land on the back. So because I think it's also still a rear-wheel drive vehicle, so yeah. I mean, at least the engine sounds cool from the, you know, the big exhaust pipes right there. I mean, it's already overheating right now, so I will skip that water section. That water section is actually more dangerous than anything because of that drop-off. So, if I can, I will avoid it. Because there is a safer water section in the front of the circuit. But yeah, I mean, it's surviving actually quite well for what it is. I mean, it's quite a crazy vehicle, but yeah. I mean, the oil pan is in the back, so I don't really want to land, again, we don't want to land in the back at all, because that's where all the important bits are. But yeah, I mean, it's starting to overheat a little bit, so I will take the water section, might as well. I don't really think that did much to the vehicle. Okay, so I mean, it depends on the engine, or it depends where the how high the engine is sitting on a vehicle. So I might have to take the back of the water section. The back water section is a little bit deeper, but it might be worth taking it if it starts overheating. I mean, it cooled it down a little bit, but yeah. It seems to be surviving pretty well. The rear suspension is collapsed a little bit. I mean, there's probably a lot more weight going on the back. It's based off like the Miramati Ute body style, so. And I don't know if the front suspension's custom or the same as the regular Ute Miramar, but yeah, the rear seems different. Again, it is surviving these jumps pretty well. Like, you don't really expect this to do that well, but it is. Okay, now we're starting to cause engine damage. The cylinder walls are damaged. We will take the water section here. Yeah, that's a heavy landing right there. That has killed multiple vehicles in the past episodes. Okay, so it does get deep right there, and it does cool down a bit, so that's fine. And yeah, so it has taken some engine damage, so yeah, we have to keep in mind on that. I mean, it's doing better than I thought it did. I thought it would survive only a few jumps until like the engine its engine broke or something, but yeah, it is surviving this. Like the chassis is not. You can see how much damage the roof is taking. Like, it's compressing quite a bit. I mean, that's from the jumps and everything. But yeah, I mean, I don't really have much else to say. I mean, I'm surprised it's doing this well. I also can't I don't really know what the real life vehicle is based off of. No, what I mean is what the Miramar is based off of, like what the real life vehicle is. I don't really know, but I might do research, but yeah, I mean, it's a cool vehicle to see in the game. The engine in the back is shaking around quite a bit on these jumps, but as long as it's working, I mean, it's eventually one jump, one heavy landing will break the engine. I don't know which one, but I mean, it's luckily it doesn't really have a drive shaft to break. I guess it has the axles, but yeah. Every lap it's gonna take more and more overheating damage. So eventually the engine will die, but yeah. We can prevent it overheating a little bit from these water sections, but it's not really gonna save the vehicle. Yeah, the transmission is kind of lazy as well. It's like not really downshifting. It's in the lower RPM most of the time. I mean, it's the Burnside engine and everything, so I'm assuming it's also the same transmission, so same automatic transmission, which is not really great, so yeah. Again, it's on to another lap. It's doing really well. I really can't really sit in the water section because I still have to continue on driving. So yeah, the cooling is gonna be it's not gonna be too consistent. Again, I'm surprised the rear suspension is holding up that well. Okay, that's a bad landing. Yeah, we hit that banking right there. If you do what's it called? If you do land on that side of the jump, then yeah, that's gonna happen. Didn't really expect that to happen. There isn't that much steering damage going on. Yeah, there isn't much steering damage for all the damage it's taking. There's not much steering damage. Yeah, but the engine is starting to get hot again. The front end is also holding on, like the bodywork and everything. Cooling going. I'm hoping the piston rings can hold on until we get here. Okay, the piston rings did survive, which is fine. Again, it gets hot in that section. We lost the front bumper and everything. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Nothing really. I don't know where the fuel tank is located. It might be actually in the front, if it's not in the back where it usually is. So, yeah, I'm not sure actually. Again, this vehicle doing this well, I'm not sure actually how accurate the distance indicator is. Some vehicles like to overcount the distance, some like to undercount. It's hard to tell. I can't remember what lap we're on because it's been a while, but it's doing surprisingly well. I mean, it's beat the normal Miramar. I don't think we actually took in a normal Miramar. We took in the wagon Miramar. It's from a mod, what's it called? The Classic Engine Expansion Pack mod, which had the Miramar body, the wagon body for the Miramar. We took in that thing around, and I think it was also four-wheel drive as well, but yeah, we have been that thing overheated with suspension damage as well. Suspension and steering and engine also died, I'm pretty sure, and I think we're past that quite a while ago, so it's doing quite well. Okay, the steering has taken some damage. The front left is not steering as well as it was, so yeah, steering has been compromised now. It's also bent also, so that's not helpful. Yeah, it's pulling really hard to the right, I think. Also, the engine's starting to overheat again. You know, coolant overheating. I don't even think this thing has coolant anymore, but yeah, engine's starting to get hot again. Yeah, there goes the piston ring. So yeah, now it's starting to take engine damage every time around. You know, that the right side of there is a little bit deeper, so it gets the most cooling possible. But it's not really gonna save the vehicle anymore since the piston rings are gone. Now we're gonna start leaking oil as well, so yeah. I mean, at least the oil pan is surviving this. That's not great. I mean, luckily there's a lot of bodies protecting the engine. If we do land like upside down, then that's probably gonna be the engine dead, but yeah, the bed and everything can take the impact. That's a lot of damage to the rear left. That's probably from one of the jumps or rolls, but yeah, that's more rear suspension damage. But yeah, I mean, it is still continuing on somehow. I don't know how it's doing this well. Okay, that's a bit of a harder landing. I mean, there's a fine. Okay, there goes the half shaft. I think that's it dead. That's what I was talking about. Where yeah, that's the half shaft gone. I noticed the yeah, I noticed the rear suspension taking more and more damage, and that eventually led to the house shaft breaking, and yeah, I cannot really climb the hill. Yeah, now we'll park it there, and that will be, I forgot the name completely, but the Miramar thing dead, I guess. It did survive quite a while, and yeah, that is gonna be the end of the Miramar Ute V8 thing. I mean, it's a really cool vehicle, but yeah, that is it dead. I mean, it did survive pretty well around here, way better than I ever expected. So on to the leaderboard. I actually didn't realize how long this video was, but yeah, we'll do this quick. But the Procyon Centauri goes into a second position. I didn't realize it at the time. I guess the other vehicles kind of overcounted the distance, while the Centauri's distance is a little bit more accurate. Goes into a second position, which was pretty good. I expected it to do pretty well, but not this well. And yeah, it's gonna take a second position. I'm pretty sure Procyon is like a luxury brand of Hirochi, so it's funny, like 3 technically Hirochi vehicles are in the top 5. The Grand Marshal hearse is still in first. The Grand Marshal actually died on the same jump. The Centauri lost the other wheel, and yeah, the Grand Marshal lost its driveshaft and rolled a little bit further than the Centauri, which is why it's a little bit ahead. But yeah, that's still a really good showing for the Centauri. And going a little bit further down is the Quadrasteer D-series. It actually does decently well. Goes behind the Bolide 390 GT Strata, and it's a little bit ahead of the Autobello Aria Group 2 rally. It does eventually lose both of its drive shafts on that lip. It actually killed, I'm pretty sure, it actually killed also the, what's it called? I think the Cadillac Fleetwood Series 75 also died there with drive shaft failure. And yeah, that lip, when you do not clear that jump, if you hit that, it's actually pretty deadly. So yeah, and that losing the wheel pretty early on did cause a lot of issues. I'm pretty sure the suspension in the back is not as strong as like a normal D-series, so I will take a normal D-series eventually to compare the both. But yeah, and going a bit further down, actually 2 positions down, is the Miramati, the Miramar Ute thing with the engine in the back. That thing actually did surprisingly well, which I didn't actually realize. And yeah, it goes slightly behind the Autobello Aria. They both die on that same ramp. The Aria does go a tiny bit further. Technically, the Aria didn't die on the ramp, but it did go further technically. So yeah, that's why it's a little bit ahead. And yeah, it was surprisingly good for what that vehicle is. The other Miramar, which is quite a lot further down, which you probably won't see, that thing died with steering and engine failure. So yeah, it's a bit of a surprising result that basically all 3 vehicles did really well this episode. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this episode. If you have any vehicle suggestions, please leave them in the comments, and I will post the updated leaderboard in the comment section as well. All the mods used will be linked in the description. And yeah, that'll be it for this episode, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.